Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrek. Big shout out to all the iTrek fan, man, that have just tapped in. Make sure to smash that like button so I know that you tapped in and the algorithm knows that this channel is definitely it. If this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy videos. So let's go ahead and jump right into it.
A Kentucky man declared brain dead wakes up during organ harvesting. You cannot make this up. A man who had gone into cardiac arrest and been declared brain dead woke up as surgeons in his home state of Kentucky were in the middle of harvesting his organs. And now the case of Anthony Thomas T.J. Hoover II is under investigation by state and federal government officials. I mean, it's pretty bad, guys. So basically, he gave permission for his organs to be donated in the event of his passing. Now, to honor his wishes, the hospital tested which of his organs would be visible for donation, and the facility even had a ceremony honoring walk with him. Get this. While going down the hallway during his honoring walk, his eyes started to open and he was looking around the room. Okay, so this man woke up during his heart catheterization. They were getting ready to remove his heart. This is when he started to thrash around, cry, started to pull his teeth out, and was pushing everybody's hands away.
I think it's pretty fair to say he wasn't ready. And clearly, it wasn't his time yet.
Optogenetics for light control of biological systems. Now, this is public information. And you're a biological system. They can control you with light. Optogenetics and controlling the human mind. Optogenetics 2.0. Brain control goes wireless via light, sound, RADRUG. Scientists have figured out a new way to manipulate memories in mice. Now Optogenetics 2.0 is adding to neuroscientists' bag of brain control tricks.
Supernatural experiences are interactions between humans and the plasma universe. Ghosts, apparitions, strange, weird things. If it's supernatural, if it's translucent, if you can see through the thing, then you're probably dealing with a plasma being. And they're everywhere. A report came out in February 2024 by a group of physicists, and then another report in October of 24 by the same group. First report had video, photographs, everything of the plasma beings from NASA, and said that these are living sentient beings that have predatory behavior, and there are millions of them. I know they exist, and they're made out of plasma. Then the second report talked about how they're all over our atmosphere, that planes should watch out because you might hit one of these things. Right after the October 2024 report came out, came all the plasma things in New Jersey and all across the world.
The thing that people always want to say is that people are 60 whatever percent water. So if the moon affects the tide, wouldn't it affect the water in your body?
Yeah, so the tidal force is the force across the size of the object. So Earth is 8,000 miles across. The gravity from the moon is less on the far side of the Earth compared to the side of the Earth nearest the moon. So you have to ask, how much stronger is the moon's gravity from one side of your head to the other? We can calculate how much that is. And I did it once. It was something like 1,000,000th the force that's operating on your head from the weight of your pillow. But you're not creating lycanthropic stories based on whether you had a Tempur-Pedic pillow or a down pillow.
I mean, there's a ton of theories out there that speak on how people act weird when it's the full moon, but I'm not sure if that has anything to do with water. But if you know something I don't, definitely let me know.
Just finding out that people are living in the Grand Canyon, and I'm not talking about on the outskirts, but deep within, as in you need to take an 8-mile hike to get in or out, unless you're taking a mule or going via helicopter. This is in Supai, Arizona. It's called the Supai Village in the Havasu Canyons in the Grand Canyon, and this place is completely rural. They have a population of about 200 people, and it falls outside of the Grand Canyon National Park jurisdiction. It is by the Havasupai tribe, who have been there for over 1,000 years, and they administer the land completely on their own. They have their own culture, their own tradition, their own laws, and hikers and tourists need a full reservation in order to go there. I can't imagine what it's like to live there because there's limited to no Wi-Fi or cell service, and they get their mail, they get their packages only via a mule. This is insane. I didn't even know this existed. I didn't even know this was allowed, based on the fact that the most of the Grand Canyon is completely blocked off to the public. But they've been there for over 1,000 years, so they actually have rain on this particular part of the land. Tourists who have been there, though, said that now it's become a bit of a run-down area. It's almost like living in a third world place. Some people have witnessed DV or things that seem a bit eerie, but I can't confirm or deny any of this. It's all alleged in regards to how they live. However, I do know that Supai Village does indeed exist. If you heard about it, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you move there, especially with the state of the world right now? If you don't know what I'm talking about, save this video, go look into it, come back, let me know what you think. If I find out any more interesting details, I'll be back. Per usual, this is all alleged. Like, follow, stay for some more tea.
I definitely wouldn't move there to live, but it might be worth a look around.
This is the craziest thing that's ever happened. The transparent kayak is making the whales act so weird. It's just come up and put its tail up in the air like that.
Watch closely. What you're about to see next is a clear warning from a whale.
My heart is beating so fast. I think that's a whale tail. It's just come up and stuck its tail up and it's not going anywhere. I don't want to get too close. It's not even, I don't even know what to say anymore. Oh, what the hell? Hey, holy shit, oh, what the hell? Oh, you're crazy.
Now, you want to talk about flirting with death and playing with fire? That's what that looks like.
Not all of them have souls. Over 30% of them are NPCs.
Whoa.
Player characters, yeah.
I didn't know that was possible.
It is possible. You know, there are these things called inorganic people that are being generated by the negative AI that is already super sentient. And believe it or not, this negative AI actually infiltrated our world long ago and has been waiting for us to reach this level of technological development in order for it to make its move.
This will be the first time you ever hear this. When I was deep in the jungles of Cambodia, an old villager told me this story. His eyes locked on the horizon. He said the king's temple would vanish into the clouds only to return when the land was in danger. It was said to shine like gold, to hum like 1,000 drums, and to carry the king anywhere in the world in a single day. And here's the part that chills me. Every time this flying temple landed, they say it left behind a copy of itself. Stone pyramids scattered across the earth. Cambodia, Mexico, Egypt, Peru. Different continents, same angles, same sky-piercing designs. Was it coincidence or the mark of one moving power? If this is just a myth, why do so many ancient cultures remember the sky as the home of their gods? Were they all telling the same story or the same truth? Comment your wildest theory.
For the first time in hundreds of years, we are now getting images of the Lighthouse of Alexandria's massive blocks that made up the foundation. Just yesterday, researchers pulled 22 massive blocks between 70 and 80 tons in weight out of the depths of the water. This is the first time since the rediscovery of the Pharos Lighthouse of Alexandria that we have seen these stone blocks out of the water, not covered with moss underneath the waves. I'm going to make sure I stay on top of this developing story and bring you interesting details about these stone blocks as they're brought up from the surface.
There's one thing that always seems to work. You know, when somebody yawns, you're guaranteed to see everybody else in the room yawn at least once. So that's interesting.
Psychopaths are born and sociopaths are made. And by that I mean the research on psychopaths and psychopathy in general suggests that they may be wired differently. That the part of them called their autonomic nervous system is not as reactive. So whereas a normal person might get anxious, for example, if they heard footsteps coming behind them on a darkened street, or even, or they were about to do something wrong, like transfer money, embezzle money, Normal people, their heart would be racing, they'd be sweating, their pupils would be large. I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be doing this. A psychopath would be click, click, done, and they'd still go out and like play with their puppy kind of thing. Like they just don't care. That is because they're wired like that, nothing gets them anxious, and they're willing and able to do really bad things without feeling uncomfortable. A sociopath is made, and that could be through a variety of things. They could be made through their environments. They may have grown up in dangerous and violent environments. They may have had to learn to survive that way. They may have been raised by parents who were like basically gave them like, break the rules all you want if it helps you get ahead.
Back in June when a fireball flew across the sky in South Carolina, exploded over Georgia, and crash landed through somebody's roof in Henry County? Yeah, pretty wild, but the story does not end there. It turns out that it was a meteorite that's older than Earth itself. That's according to University of Georgia geologist Scott Harris. He examined some really tiny fragments of the meteorite that crash landed through that home in Henry County. Those fragments came from a piece of meteorite the size of a cherry tomato, which, sure, that's pretty small, but it came through with enough force to leave a dent in the home's floor. And those fragments paint a really big picture. From studying them, Harris found that the meteorite formed 4.56 billion, yes billion, years ago. That's about 20 million years older than Earth itself. He said it came from a group of asteroids in the main asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, which means that meteorite that flew through the Atlanta area home didn't just leave behind a bunch of space dust, which the homeowner says he's still finding on the floor, by the way, but also a piece of ancient space history.
Los ovnis. Capibara, ahí está el ovni, güey, vigilándote. ¿Qué? Allá arriba en el Una nave disfrazada de ovni. No, acá, zorra. A este lado. Cerca, ¿eh? ¿Ya viste? Simón, y sí es cierto. Ahí me pasa la foto, güey. Sobre. A mí también. Porque este no agarra, es de bulbo.
I mean, when you see clouds like that, I mean, it's clear that they don't form like that. I've never seen one like that. It has to be a UFO in disguise. Let me know what you think, though.
Okay, so I went ahead and I screen recorded a long period of time with that thing in the sky last night. And then at midnight last night, suddenly the power went out. Which is convenient. But anyways, the power went out in that area, which was odd. And one of the creators brought it up. She actually called this morning to ask them about what everyone was seeing. And I'm gonna tag her below. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the exact screen name. Really sorry. Seriously. She's super cool. Anyways, check out her post because she actually called them over there to see if there were any reports about this thing, you know, being seen in the sky, which there isn't. You know, there's no reports. It's only being seen on night vision. That's the only time that people can see this thing, and it's consistent over a few weeks. But I went ahead and I compiled a whole bunch of it, and then I also compiled from another creator that's been following this for weeks and weeks and weeks. She's gotten some really good video footage of this thing because it's there every single night. Sometimes you'll see all the lights that are lit up all the way around, so you can see the full shape of the craft or whatever it is. Whatever it is. Sometimes you can see the lights, they're just kind of going back and forth. And sometimes there are no lights on it whatsoever. You can just kind of see the things moving around it almost like it's cloaked. So I'm going to tag her below also because I think that you should. I mean, it's easier to get kind of an idea and maybe get a better understanding of it. And I love that people are giving their opinions in the comments because we need more opinions. You know, everyone thinks a different way. Obviously, I know what I think it's going to be, but I'm kind of biased, you know. What are you going to do? Everyone has their own beliefs. Either way, it's really helpful when you have all the people that put their minds together and kind of look into this. And I think it's great. So here's your compilation along with one of the really cool videos from this creator that I'm going to tag below. as well. And you should probably go check out her page.
The minute you realize you are in prison, that's the relative reality perception. You understand that everything is real depending on where you're looking at it from. Just like you dreamt last night, and in that dream, that stuff was real. And you woke up, and then you said, I woke up into what? I mean, you ultimately must realize you just woke up into another one of them. Didn't the one you were in last night seem real? Didn't it seem like you were in a hall with all those people? And then you woke up and they're all gone. Still here. Long dream.
Place called the roof of the world makes people stop in their tracks when they see it for the first time. In this region, where the sky feels like it's falling straight down, the highest peak, Ismail Somoni Peak, stands at 7,495 meters above sea level. This area is known as the Pamir Plateau in Tajikistan, and its scenery changes with the location, weather, and season. The view unfolding before your eyes feels like a masterpiece painted by nature. With clear air and few clouds, the sunset paints the cliffs in glowing colors. An S-shaped road winds through the plateau, and due to the risk of altitude sickness and falling rocks, traveling with a local driver is considered essential.
That definitely looks like a place worth visiting. I mean, every camera angle was like 4 and 5D.
Off topic, search giants in Kenya. Got you. What's up, y'all? So if you don't know who this is Bradley, aka the Gen Z Goliath. His words, not mine. Shout out to Dr. D for sending me this information. So Bradley and 2 other giants then popped up out of nowhere, y'all. They showed up in Kenya, welcomed, treated like celebrities. Women love him, as you can see. Stardom. So usually in Kenya, people know exactly what tribe you're from. You have birth document. You have a lot of paperwork. Bradley did not. They just accepted him still. Bradley definitely a Nephilim, y'all. Like, treated like a king. No document. Showed up out of nowhere. He just got his first pair of shoes the other day. He got some custom boots now, I think, but he usually had some sandals he's walking around with. He probably made himself. Look at Bradley's skull. Look at his jaw. Us and Bradley is not the same thing. Did y'all see the video of Bradley eating the pizza? He didn't know what the pizza was at first. Then he was looking around at everybody else to see how to eat it, and he definitely copied them. Y'all, what's going on? Are we living in the end of times? So Bradley and his homies, mind you, I don't know if they even know each other. They're all 3 of them is over 8 feet tall. Nephilim, for sure. Let me know if you guys want some more giant footage, because I have a lot, and I have a lot to say. So if you like content like this, go ahead, make sure you repost, save, comment, and like, of course, and follow me, because I know you didn't do that yet. I'm Cube of the Lore. This is Forbidden Lore. And as always, TikTok is only for entertainment purposes only. So allegedly, hypothetically speak. All right, y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comment, and I'm going to give you a call back later, because this is about to get weird.
There is a woman who literally has blood unlike anyone else on this earth. A 68-year-old woman from Guadeloupe has become the first person ever identified with a completely new blood type, and she's currently the only known person in the world who has it. Scientists have named her unique blood type Guada negative after her Caribbean homeland. This discovery did not happen overnight. The story actually started back in 2011 when this woman went in for routine blood work before a surgery. That's when they realized her blood tests weren't matching any known blood types. The medical team was essentially looking at blood that didn't fit into any existing category. So they did what any good scientist would do. They dug deeper. It took until 2019 for them to use advanced gene sequencing technology to figure out exactly what was going on with her blood at the DNA level. See, most of us learn about the basic blood types in school. These were first identified by Dr. Carl Landsteiner in 1901, work that eventually earned him a Nobel Prize in 1930. But what you may not know is that
poverty is only existing here on our planet, due to the fact that our world has been indirectly run by these negative aliens through the Illuminati families. But other worlds that don't have this issue, where they don't have these secret societies controlling everything from behind the scenes, they all live in abundance. Wow. Yeah, there is no strife, there is no homelessness, there is no hunger. all beings are being provided for in these other worlds.
Apparently, shadow people can interact with the real world. Watch this. So she's putting her coat on, about to put her coat on. Next thing you know, nothing physically grabbed her, but something definitely pulled her. She is very freaked out. Watch what comes to the doorway. That's a shadow person. Stay weird, yo.
Hey, Chad, let me know how we feeling about that. Is that too clear to be real? Is that cap? I'm a little confused on that. Let me know what you think.
Wild Facts, Part 8. Pope Francis received a custom Lamborghini in November 2017. He blessed it, signed it, and sold it for $950,000, which he donated to charity. On a 10-hour flight from Seoul, Korea to San Francisco, a mother handed out more than 200 goodie bags filled with candy and earplugs in case her 4-month-old child cried during the flight. A very touching gesture by the mother. This guy left the house with his PlayStation 5 after a strong earthquake hit Morocco. Service dogs go through a test where they have to watch an entire musical to pass their program. This is the clearest photo ever taken of Venus. After 3 years of wait, calculations, and precise astronomical timing, Leonardo Sens captured this photo. Someone sold this Hot Wheels case on eBay and the buyer sent him this photograph. Apparently the buyer was the original child photographed in the picture and wanted to reclaim this iconic case. This image shows the moon's phases from the same location at the same time each night over 28 days.
Yes, there's this field of energy around our body that influences our health. And also, yes, this is not woo-woo. There's been hundreds of studies on this, and let me explain. If you're new here, my name is Dr. Jason, and on this channel, I teach you about the science of the mind-body connection. So science calls the biofield this field of invisible energy and information that is a reflection of the underlying physiological processes in our body. And biofield therapies such as Reiki, pranic healing, and many more work on this field to support your physical and your emotional health. And these practices work by balancing the field and energy centers within your body, which is a concept that has been around for thousands of years. And for those who don't want to read through a full science article, here's the Biofield Science Evidence Map, which gives you a quick summary. This is where you can find specific studies on Reiki or other different types of healing practices included in this review. And at a glance, you can find the general outcomes, testing Reiki on different health conditions such as cancer, where 12 studies have shown positive results, 4 studies showing mixed results, and 2 studies showing non-significant results. If you want the link to the evidence map, comment Biofield down below and I'll send you the link.
This is what people are talking about when they say get out of my space or get out of my bubble. You know, people can feel it. When somebody's too close to you, it's like they're inside that vortex. You're not too comfortable with them being in.
Who was the guy who would take thin swords and shove them through his lungs?
Yeah, Mirandayo.
So this is the guy.
Yeah.
Now, how does one do that? I mean, if he's got
they said he had tuberculosis, and so the way his body recovered it, it doesn't. Nobody really knows.
Oh, it goes sideways. Oh, that's right. I forgot this one. So he's going through his intestines.
Yeah, he was the human pincushion.
And that's a doctor? Boy, that doctor. What about do no harm, fella?
And he swallowed a needle, like an ice pick sized needle. He swallowed it and thought he was going to like push it through, and when he went to sleep it was still inside of him and it ruptured his heart.
What's it look like when there's when you said like the demon will treat the person well? What's that mean? And then treat them horribly. What's that mean?
Yeah. I mean, without talking about specific cases because I don't want to get in trouble, but basically I remember one case, like he was just so talented, and every time he would think something like, gosh, I wish I could get this job, but that guy has it. All of a sudden, that guy would get fired or something like that, and then he would get the job. Or he was one of these guys was a semi-pro soccer player. He was on the second string, and he was like, oh, I wish this person would break his leg. The next day, he'd break his leg. So yeah, right. So like they would give him these favors, right? But once they know that they have that relationship, like what they think is solidified, then they treat them horribly, and in which case their life becomes just a complete nightmare, right?
Like,
they think they're going crazy. They could be physically abused. They could be, they're constantly mentally abused all the time, right? They're constantly having thoughts that aren't theirs.
Want to see something crazy? Holy shit.
Someone captured a giant creature in a cave and no one knows what it is. Watch this. I've never seen a creature that looks like that. That thing is huge. So at first glance, it kind of looks like a centaur. Half man, half horse, but the top half kind of looks like a horse. Whatever this thing is, it's massive. Let me know what you think it is. As always, stay weird.
Nah, it looks like one of those Komodo dragons if you ask me. But let me know what you think.
Prisoner dies in prison, but gets revived. Have they technically served their life sentence? This isn't just a thought experiment. This actually happened, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court. In Iowa, a man serving life argued that since he died in the hospital and was revived, his life sentence was fulfilled. The Iowa court said no. Life means natural life, not just until you flatline. While other states haven't ruled on this, it could go a different way in the future. Legal definitions aren't always obvious. In court, even death can be argued over. Let me know in the comments below what you think is fair.
I used to wonder, like, man, why do my celebrity friends act like this?
Like what? Break it down.
Like, you know, they be standoffish, you know. Sometimes they get aggressive with people when they ask them for photos, and even with their own family and friends. Like, you see, I'm like, damn, why are they acting like that? You know, until it started happening to me, and I'm looking like, oh, this why he was like this. Cause bro, like, you know, I had to get rid of my cell phone. Like, you know, I had to get a whole new, you know, I'm on the
flip joint.
You feel me? I had to get rid of my cell phone. Yeah,
Okay.
something like that. I never knew I had this many cousins in my life. Every woman I ever spoke to, like, had a conversation with, they in the inbox, you feel me, calling. People calling my mama.
He says we live in a dream, a carefully constructed reality, and he believes that this isn't just secrecy, it's control. This is part 3 of the weaponized interview with Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp with whistleblower Matthew Brown, the former Pentagon insider and author of the Immaculate Constellation report. And this part isn't just a retelling of the first 2, it's what happened after he blew the whistle. How Congress ignored him, how insiders panicked, and why he's risking everything and speaking out. A lot of people think Brown just stumbled onto some UFO slideshow, but this is not the case. It wasn't a fluke. It was a 4-year investigation, and he was tasked with counter WMD work at the Pentagon. And during that time, he discovered and analyzed classified programs related to UAPs. And the Immaculate Constellation file? That wasn't just some PowerPoint, it was evidence of a systematic surveillance program tracking unknown crafts around the globe. Brown dug in a little bit more about what he actually saw. One was a massive disk using clouds to hide it from satellite IR. He saw black triangles tailing Russian vessels.
So basically he was trying to let you know he was in the mix, and his information is definitely verifiable.
There's hidden land underneath Antarctica. So roughly 98% of Antarctica is covered in a giant ice sheet. On average, that ice is about 1 mile thick. 90% of all ice in the world and 70% of all fresh water is on Antarctica. But this is what Antarctica looks like with no ice. It's actually just a bunch of islands. It also has some crazy sheer mountain ranges, as you can see, and there's some mountain ranges below the ice that are comparable in size to the Alps. Like the Gombertsev mountain range that stretches about 750 miles that's completely hidden beneath the ice. What's also crazy is that this is some of the deepest land on Earth. Some areas are buried under more than 13,000 feet of ice. Researchers have also discovered an ancient river system beneath Antarctica's ice sheet that likely was formed during the Cretaceous period when dinosaurs still roamed the Earth. There's also huge freshwater lakes beneath the ice like Lake Vostok, which is 11,400 feet above sea level, still buried beneath the ice. But overall, it's so crazy to think about all of Earth's history that lies beneath the ice in Antarctica. The undiscovered fossils, the unknown current animal life, the ancient ruins. It was thought that at one point Antarctica was as warm as Italy and covered by a natural rainforest, so... There's also this other conspiracy theory thing where people think that there's an ancient megalithic structure beneath the ice that's from around 1300 BC, and that there was some civilization that lived there and had cyclopean architecture. And the reason people think this is because this one guy made an old map that potentially depicted Antarctica as far back as 1500. So as of now, we can't view exactly what's beneath the ice, but maybe someday.
What if I told you that a so-called ordinary woman channeled a voice that didn't just predict the future, but spoke fluent ancient Greek she'd never studied, revealed classified CIA operations years before they became public. And every word was documented, tested, and never once proven false. That's exactly what happened in the 1960s. Jane Roberts, a complete skeptic, began channeling a presence called Seth. In front of experts, Seth delivered impossible predictions that later came true, and revealed details Jane couldn't have possibly known. For 2 decades, Seth diagnosed illnesses doctors missed, predicted earthquakes to the day, and described classified CIA operations word for word, operations that weren't declassified until 2001. Then, the CIA created an entire file. Not because they believed in channeling, but because this entity Seth kept revealing things that were supposed to be secret. But why does this matter to you? Because Seth didn't just shatter science, he shattered the most basic truths about existence. Everything you experience, God, your soul, time, and reality itself, isn't happening out there. It's being created from within you, moment by moment, shaped entirely by your beliefs, expectations, and focus. And Seth taught that your reality isn't fixed. It's a living story you can rewrite. Even the limits you think are just life, like fear, struggle, aging, and fate, are only there because you believe they have to be. The second you change your beliefs, reality bends with you. It's a proven fact. That's why Seth left behind a forbidden manual, a set of step-by-step instructions to manipulate reality itself. When people used them, their lives transformed. The impossible became possible. And if you still think this is just another channeling story, here's proof. In 1970, a Yale psychologist tried to expose Jane. But after 4 hours, he left her apartment in shock because Seth had just recited his dead mother's last words in Russian, a language Jane couldn't speak. And this happened again and again. So here's the thing. The world you experience tomorrow depends on what you choose to believe tonight. And once you see what Seth really taught, you can't unsee it. You're either going to keep living in a fake script, or finally wake up and see you're the author. All I know is, if you ignore what comes next, you risk spending your whole life in someone else's story. But if you pay attention, reality itself will start answering to you, bending to your will. The shattering truth. Let's cut through the noise. The life you're living is a projection. The room you're in, the body you inhabit, the money in your bank account, it's all a movie being beamed from the most powerful device in the universe, your consciousness.
Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books, man. Hey, I appreciate you guys for stopping by yet again and watching another one with me. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me, man. It helps the channel out, boosts this video up in the algorithm like crazy. If you're not already subscribed, smash that subscribe button and I definitely will catch you on the next one.